This will be your first time getting into a vehicle. So you'll unlock your vehicle or with a key and you get into your vehicle. And then once you're in your vehicle, ideally you want to put your ignition on, or if you've got manual windows, you would just open your windows now, roll down your windows. But in this case, I'm going to put my key into the ignition and I'm going to turn it to the on position, which is normally 2 clicks. Some vehicles on the second click, your doors lock. Okay, now my windows work, electronic windows work. So I'll just open both of them slightly for some fresh air. It's again an extremely hot day here with us. Okay, this is for a learner that's never driven before. This is for first-time drivers, how to get comfortable and familiar with what's happening in the vehicle. Okay, so the very first thing you do is you need to make sure you're in a comfortable position. That means when you push your clutch in fully, when you disengage your clutch all the way in, you need to feel comfortable. Your foot cannot be stretching, but it should also not feel like your knee is hitting against your dashboard. So you adjust your seat. Underneath your seat, there's normally a lever that you can pull up, and then you can adjust your seat wherever you need it to be. And then once you feel it's in the desired position, leave the lever so that the seat can be stuck in that position. Okay, then you feel that's better. So now I feel very comfortable. Okay, at the bottom, we've got our clutch on the left, we've got our brake in the middle, and we have our accelerator on the right. Now, your left foot should only be used for your left pedal for the clutch, and your right foot should only be used for your brake and your accelerator, because your brake and your accelerator, you do very gentle movements, very soft. You're feathering your brake and you basically feather your accelerator. You don't really like go for it all the way and go for the brake all the way unless it's in an emergency. Your left foot needs to get used to doing the same movement all the time, because your clutch is always pressed in quickly and you always release it with a little bit more control. But you don't want to ever put your left foot by accident on your brake, because this left foot is so used to pressing in the clutch all the way. So you don't want to ever be braking all the way, especially when you're driving. That would be very, very dangerous. So you want to make sure your left foot is always left for the clutch, and if it's not on the clutch, it's carefully coming off and it's resting next to the pedal. You don't want it on the pedal. You don't want to be riding your clutch, but you want to make sure that your foot is coming off to the left. And your right foot, when you're driving, you're literally shuffling between your brakes and your accelerator, and you only need to press your clutch every time you change your gear or every time you bring your car to a standstill. Okay, that's your feet. Then you need to check your mirrors to see if your mirrors are adjusted to your specification. The correct way to adjust your mirror is you need to see about 10% of your vehicle. You need to see about 10% of your vehicle in your mirror, and as much as possible of what is happening next to the car. And a good tip is that your door handle should be more or less at the bottom of the mirror, in the bottom corner of the mirror. The top mirror is also important. So your top mirror, you can just adjust it by maneuvering this thing around so that it's in a position that you feel it's comfortable. Okay, so seat is adjusted, mirrors are adjusted. I know what to do with my feet. Very important now, we should probably put on our safety belt. You would have also checked your mirror this side to make sure that this one is also adjusted. And same thing applies, 10% of the vehicle and about 90% of what's happening next to the vehicle, and the door handle more or less in the corner of the mirror at the bottom. Okay, so your handbrake is what keeps your car from moving. So when you're ready to go, your final thing to do would be to drop the handbrake. Your gears, you have to adjust as you drive, and you have to change your gear every time you stop. Okay, so when you stop, you need to put it back into neutral, or if you know where you're going, you don't want to waste time, you go straight into first gear. But most of the test examiners want you to put your gear in neutral. That's standard K53. Okay, when you're holding your steering wheel, you want to try your very best to not grasp the wheel. We're all a little bit nervous when we start driving, but grasping the wheel is going to make it actually so much harder for you to control the wheel, because you're going to feel like you're all over the show. Where all you really want to do is you want to rest your hands very comfortably on your steering wheel at a 9 o'clock and a 3 o'clock position, because that keeps your fingers close to the levers, and actually you have more control with your hands here opposed to having your hands here or here. When you have your wheel, your hands here, you'll feel like you're driving all over the show, and the same at years at the top. It's actually better when you're driving to keep them around this position. So check before you start your car which side is your indicator and which side is your lights. Your indicator light will always be on the same place as your lights, and your wiper blade will always, your wiper lever will always be on the opposite side. So in this car, my wipers on the left and my indicator sits on the right, and turning my lights on is this right at the end is the lever to turn to put the lights on and off. Okay, so that's it. Handbrake, done the gear. We've done all of it. Okay. I hope that helps you to pass your driving test with confidence. Now go outside and have a blessed day.